Okay, so we had this droid, and we had him named, and we had to find a voice for it. Well, of course, that's my job. It was tough. I mean, it's people don't understand how hard it is to cast a voice for something, particularly when it's a new character. It's really easy when it's an existing kind of character. You just have to match it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So here you have a brand new character, which, WED really wasn't doing a lot of. And to be honest, at the time, Disney Animation wasn't doing a lot of it. They were used to using stars and things like that and whatever. So we had this character. It was designed, and we had a write-up of what it was. It was kind of this manic, full of itself, knew what it was doing, but really didn't character. And okay, that's great. Let's go find a voice. And we kept trying voice after voice. Then we started bringing in some people, including some classic standbys, as I call it, that we'd use. One was Frank Welker, who's done a lot of brilliant cartoon voices.
Yeah.
We tried female B.J. Ward, who actually did a lot of safety spiels at Epcot. I mean, I was bringing her in probably once a month because they kept updating the safety spiels. And just nothing worked. It just didn't work. And of course, George Lucas was going to have to sign off on the voice too. Now, meanwhile, of course, I've already hired Anthony Daniels to do C-3PO, and I had to make that deal and all that kind of stuff. That's easy. Here you're having to create a new voice for a character. Right. Well, part of what I used to do back then, because, you're just nowadays I don't hardly go to movies. Back then I'd go to movies all the time because you did, and I just go by myself because I never know, I might hear a voice or something. So I did go to a lot of cartoons and things that had voices in them. And for some reason, I went to see Flight of the Navigator. So I went to see it, and after the spaceship gets screwed up, and of course it becomes this really kind of crazy voice, I go, who the hell is that,
That's it, Davy.
Davy?
If you want to learn to swim, you've got to jump in the water.
Don't forget to feed Bruiser. 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun.
Whoa! This can't be happening. I think I've gotten some stuff out of your head that has nothing to do with navigating this ship.
You sound just like a human.
No!
Now, remember, this is before, other than people who went to nightclubs, knew who Paul Reubens was, or Pee Wee Herman. He hadn't really had his film yet. He hadn't had Pee Wee's Playhouse or anything. And I'm going, who the hell is that? And I stayed to the end just to see the credits. Said Paul Reubens. Okay, well, that's a great voice, and I was like floored. I came into the work. This was at night, right? I came into the office the next day, and Tom Fitzgerald come in, and I said, "Tom, what are you doing?" He said, "Well, Tom, I don't care what you're doing." I had already looked up the times of when the movie would be playing at some movie theaters around back then, and remember, we didn't have multiplexes back then,
or YouTube.
Yeah, nothing. You had to go to a movie to see it, and you were lucky if it was a duplex and it had multiple showings. And I said, I don't care what you're doing. Right now, I want you to go see Flight of the Navigator because I found our voice. It's the voice of the ship. Just go. And he was like, well, no, I don't care what you just do it. Because by then we're getting closer, right?
Right.
And he says, okay. So he goes, and he comes back, and he had enough faith, says, book him. So we booked him. Again, we're going to have George approve this. So I had a consultant who got a hold of him on the set of Pee Wee's Playhouse. The first year. They were in production for the first season.
Wow.
I actually talked to him and came back to me and said, okay, he's interested. We need to make an offer. And I said, okay. So we ended up making a deal. Now, one of the things he wanted was a lifetime pass, which I said, I don't know that I can do that.
That's awesome. Go, Paul.
No, yeah. And I'm like, well, that became a bit of a bone of contention, but it happened. I went and they said, okay, that's fine. I worked out the language. So he would get a silver pass for life. It doesn't go to his heirs as long as the voice is used in the attraction.
Hi there. I see they're loading our Navigator R2-D2, and then we'll be on our way. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight.
We brought him in, and he did the first big session, and we had to send a limo the first time because he had a manager at the time who was kind of an ass and wanted me to treat him like a star and all that. But the guy knew how to drive. After that, he said, don't do the limo again. I said, I'll drive myself. I'm a big boy. And I said, okay, fine. But we recorded it. Now, again, we have to get George's approval still, right?
Right.
So we set it up. We recorded it. We really liked it, but we sent it up to George. He loved it. And that's how Paul Reubens became the voice of Rex.
Hey, sorry folks. Sure to do better next time. Was my first flight and I'm still getting used to my programming.
We do hope you enjoyed your tour of Endor and will come back soon.
Hey, look at those names to the left. They are part of the Skywalking Force, our Patreon.
Become a producer yourself and check out all the Disney Plus themed bonus content available depending on the level you subscribe.
Become a member of the elite Skywalking Force at skywalkingforce.com.